Alright, good evening guys. Welcome to another late night stream of mine. And this time I am doing UBOAT again. So, yeah, the last 2 or 3 nights I have been doing a bit of DayZ, and now we are continuing UBOAT, where we actually did stop it. What was it? Saturday night, I think it was. So, as you see, yeah, I paused the game because at the moment, well, while I was starting the stream, I needed a little bit of backup time. And you hear, let's pause again for the intro. We are under attack. So at the end of the last stream, we fired a few torpedoes, and I think we were successful in sinking at least one of the enemy ships. And yeah, you see we are at forward 1, gyro compass turned off, dive planes to manual, silent run enabled, alarm enabled, so we are silently running, and we are down to 130 meters trying to evade the enemy. So what was happening? We detected a convoy and started to, we detected it by hydrophone checks with a very far range, and so we started to try to intercept them, and by hourly hydrophone checks we were able to extrapolate their course, and so we could nicely intercept them, and that was what we actually did. And right now, after we had put ourselves right in front of them, infiltrate the convoy by just diving to periscope depth and let them pass above us. So we entered the convoy and fired torpedoes on. I don't quite remember. Let's see. I think we have sunk. See, we have sunk, obviously, 1, 2, 3. Looks like we have sunk 3 ships. And now the escort is obviously pretty pissed off, trying to track us down, so we can get some contacts. Here, these 2 guys, they are pretty close and probably going after us. Yeah, only thing now what we can do is trying to evade them. So fingers crossed that we are successful with that. Yeah, you hear them and they are close. Yeah, we do have quite a bit of water in the bilge. It's not because of a dramatic leak, but when we are down here, we have some continuous stream of water sipping in through gaskets which are not 100% tight, which I think is pretty realistic. The other critical thing soon will be the air quality, which is down to 42. And the pump will only give us, something like 35% of performance down here, because it has to act against this enormous pressure at these depths. So all these things are nicely modeled in the game, and we have to heed it. The crew discipline is still pretty alright, although being that deep pushes down the discipline. Being hunted makes them nervous. Much work. Yeah, I have all my crew, all the off-watch crew is on battle station to support the officers. And here we hear them coming in. Yeah, that was just a flare being fired up there. But soon they will be above me. All the officers are on battle station, which means that my disciplinary officers, the captain and the bosun, they are kind of supervising all the crew, making things happen faster. Mr. Grade is at standby at the electric engines with 2 hands, so that if necessary we could instantly go to flank speed. Mr. Arles and Mr. Schneider, first and second mechanic, they are just on standby for doing repairs, and the same for Mr. Preen, our second radio man, and our first radio man is listening to the hydrophone. Yeah, these are probably, that's the convoy. That's the convoy which is moving away, so the bulk of the convoy will continue on their course, but the escorts, they are trying to track us down at the moment, and they are pretty tight on us. Wow, so 41% of air quality. It's not getting better. Next time one of them is exactly above us, I will turn on the pump and the ventilation system, in the hope that they won't hear us when one of them is right above us, masking our noise with their own propeller noise. Yeah, by the way, I am 2.5 years into the war. It's mid-June 1942, and I started this game in the very beginning of the war in 1939, September. So what I'm doing here is a complete playthrough through the whole war campaign. And yeah, that's so very dynamic. We did a lot of missions around here and in the Eastern Atlantic and the North Sea. But yeah, after a while we got a better submarine, while we started with the worst and smallest that you can get, and by now we even have a supply ship around here, so we could cross the Atlantic, resupply, and then go for target areas around here. At the moment we are going for this Operation Drumbeat in, yeah, off the Canadian coast. Yeah, you see the water at the bottom. "250 liters in the bilge." I don't like it. Yeah, and we are still off the coastal shelf, so it's unfathomable depths under our keel. If we would sink here, there would be no seabed stopping us from getting completely crushed. Hey, good evening, weight loss. Nice to have you in. How are you doing? So, how was your day? Yeah, as for me, I'm pretty relaxed. So what do you mean by tabletop simulator? Do you just mean that you're running your simulator on your tabletop and not on a laptop, or? Okay, so what is that about? Never ran into that, to be honest. Don't want that water in. And yeah, of course, it's getting more and more. Maybe I should reduce my depth a bit and go up to 110 meters.
Auf 110 Meter.
Ah, okay, yes. So, which kind of games do they have there? Ah, okay. So Star Wars Armada is actually a tabletop. Yeah, you mentioned that, right?
120 Meter.
But I think I didn't quite get the point that it is originally a tabletop. That's nice. So it's mods, like is it the community actually providing something like their favorite tabletop games? We should check it. I mean, so could you always, I mean, is it against NPCs? I mean, computer opponents, or would it be online games? What's the situation? Yeah, okay, we've fired most of our 4 torpedoes by now. Yeah, nice. Nice. By the way, did I fire a stern torpedo? I think I didn't. Nope. I still have both of the T5 stern torpedoes. The T5 are the sound-seeking torpedoes, so if you fire them, they're gonna home in for the next propeller noise that they detect. I don't like the water and I don't like the air quality level. Yeah, I get more and more. Yeah, as for my day, I actually spent quite some hours in the car. But yeah, in total, I had a good day. I mean, I visited two companies around Frankfurt that I have projects with, one in the south and one far in the north of Frankfurt. So in total, this was something like 5 hours of meeting and 4 hours of driving. Yeah, the meetings were great. And yeah, meanwhile, I don't have much of a problem with driving because I discovered the concept of audiobooks and podcasts for me. So since Spotify, driving long distances or spending much time in the car doesn't bother me that much as it did earlier. So usually had the feeling that driving in a car is just such a complete waste of time. You can't work, you can't read, you could only listen to the radio. Well, listening to news or music, that's fine, but not for something like if you spend 2 hours a day in a car. But yeah, since I've found quite some, well, nice audiobooks and nice podcasts on Spotify, I'm pretty fine with that. Yeah, but still, I'm glad that I can do some home office tomorrow, which also means that I can sleep a little bit longer and can stream a little bit longer into the night. So great that you're with me. Nothing much happening at the moment. Maybe they actually did lost track of me. Did they? Yeah, but whenever you think that you got rid of them, then suddenly they are above you and do their worst. So let's do this little cheating, or let's call it cinematic view. I'll take a look at the surface. I think it's... what time is it? Didn't check it. I think it's nighttime. Didn't I attack at sunset or something? Yeah. Okay, there is something. Pretty hard to see in the darkness. They're still searching. But that's the only ship that I detect at the moment. So, Mr. Hinrich. Mr. Hinrich. What's that? Oh yeah, there were ships coming right into the opposite direction, actually. And there. And some guys are still pretty close. According to the hydrophone, there are still 2 ships close to me. Oh God. Oh shit.
Kommandant, wir wurden von SD geortet.
Okay, they're pinging.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich drum.
Nah, don't. Stick to the hydrophone, please.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle. Großraum besetzen.
I just can't get him to the listening room. Ah, okay, no. He got stuck somehow. Luckily that doesn't happen too often. Okay. Very close. Very close. We are on silent running. Yeah, but they're still not. They clearly have us, I think. So probably they got us when we have that ping this loud and clear and regular. They have spotted us. And it might well be that they are now heading right for us to cross above us and drop all the shit that they have upon us. $270 in the bilge. And 38% of air quality left. Oh man. Battery capacity is not a problem. We have upgraded the battery. Still not right above us. Yeah, I developed and installed several upgrades over the 2 years of the batteries. But, well, for air quality you can't do anything much about that. The only thing is that we have these filters in the ventilation system. Here, this one, the potassium absorbers. I could take less crew, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so what do you mean? You think it's unrealistic how long the battery lasts, or? And don't take survivors, yeah. Yeah, that would be a point. That's right, the survivors, of course, accelerate that usage, oxygen usage. Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice if they would kind of reduce it a bit, I think, yep. Yeah, so maybe I should open the hatch and throw out the survivors. It's them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yep. Devs, where is the Type 9? Yes, exactly. How long do we still have to wait for the Type 9? But as I used to say, I am kind of split. One half of me says, where is the Type 9 upgrade? And the other half says, please wait a bit until you give it to us so I can go a little bit further in this existing campaign. Wow, this was loud. There they are pinging on us again. That sounds pretty systematic, I would say. It's a good idea. If you go up just by 20 meters from 130 to 110, it really reduces the rate, the leakage rate. Wouldn't it be somewhat exponential or something? I mean, Like the lake's not increasing linearly, but like exponential or quadratic or something. That would be my guess without doing any science about it. Okay. Let's get deeper. When they are right above us, I can turn on the pumps and I can turn on the ventilation because they wouldn't be able. Would it be linear? Yeah, you're right. In air, it's not linear because air is compressible, but water is not compressible, so I think you're right, it would be linear, yep. Yeah, but really only a little bit. Usually you go well if you assume it to be non-compressible. But of course you're right, it is. They didn't drop. Maybe they are out of. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Because it's so little, yep. Hey, in this short time period we used up 5 of the filters, of the absorbers. Alright. Let's see how much water did we get out. Wow, not bad. See, we are down to 150. So that was worthwhile. And air quality 44, coming from 38. And yeah, as that escort was passing right above us, they should probably not have heard us, so because they cannot detect rightwards down underneath them, and the others couldn't detect us because we would probably be camouflaged by their sound. Hey, what was that? I hear this sound as if somebody would have given me a follow or something, but I don't see any report. So sorry if some guy did me some nice things. Thank you very much. It's just a bit weird that I don't see anything here in my reports. So thank you. I'm pretty sure that something good happened. I just can't see what it was. Which is quite a pity. So why did I get that sound? Did you hear that sound? Is it also transmitted into the stream? This is usually the sound that I get when somebody rates me or somebody gives me a follow. But I don't get any message like that. So sorry, guy. If anybody of you did something nice to me and I just can't see it right now, thanks anyway. So that's my trick. When they are right above me and ready to drop, depth charts, I go flank speed and change my course for 90 degrees or minus 90 degrees. And now we are moving away. The convoy should be moving this way, and sooner or later they must abandon the abandon us and get back to the convoy. So why not going back to
Tauchen auf, 110 Meter.
110? Hey, come on, let's give it a save at that point. And as it's a new day, let's give it a new save, which would be W201.
Aktuelle Tiefe 120 Meter.
Yeah, all right. Mr. Lamprecht Bosun supervising the actions. Mr. Trummer. No, Mr. Lamprecht is my ex-bosun and captain since a year or something. Mr. Trummer, the bosun.
110 Meter.
And Mr. Grada, our chief engineer here, he is attending to the engines with 2 other crew hands. Okay. Are we getting rid of them now? Mr. Hinrich, what would you say? Okay, that guy is still close behind us. He's, closing in. And that one is also closing in. So there are still 2 men of war, 2 escorts, which are chasing us. Yeah, there is no strain and stress yet onto the crew. Discipline is at 97%, which is alright. Air quality, yeah. Question is, what would be my next plan? I could get once more to the milk cow, rearm and get back to the area and see if I can sink a few more ships, because to reach the next level I am just 25,000, just, here are the air quotes, just 25,000 tons away from the level 2, reaching another milk cow. Although up to now I'm not quite sure what it, I already have a milk cow, and up to now I'm not quite sure what I can do with a second and a third milk cow, if I could position them just as well. That I'm not quite sure about, or if it's just spare milk cows, if this milk cow might get sunk by the enemy. Yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning, so still completely dark out there. Hey, right now I'm not quite sure whether these 3 ships, which I haven't yet reported to the headquarters, whether they are already accounted for my success here, or if I only get them accounted for when I radio them back. Not quite sure about that. After playing the game all these years, sometimes you run into very basic questions. So, that was a good thing to turn on the pump for a little while when that enemy ship was passing by right above us, so that they wouldn't hear me. And same for the ventilation. But the ventilation burns absorbers so fast. Luckily I do have a set of 40 in spare, so I did put 40 of the absorbers into the ventilation system and 40 in spare into the storage. And I think that was probably a good idea, because as I said, air quality is the first thing usually to get critical when you're forced under the water for too long.
Den Spieß gegen diese Jäger um.
Yeah, let's see. So this is the patience thing about the game. But yeah, that might be not everybody's business. For me, this is pretty worthwhile in terms of immersion. I like this. The game having stretches of very slow pace, and then again stretches where things are actually going too fast to handle it. Yep, as I used to say, this is no arcade game. I think even if you would tune down the difficulty level, you would never come into the ranges of an arcade game. But still, I'm playing at almost 100% difficulty level. And you could reduce it if you are new in the game and things feel just too complex. You could very individually reduce certain features or turn them off and make the game more playable for a beginner. But if you play it at max difficulty level, it feels great. The only main thing that I didn't put to max is the damage model. So there are 3 levels of damage model: low, medium, and high. And if you go to high, it is kind of terrible. So when they drop depth charges on you, I think on the high level you really have almost no chance of survival. That's my impression, at least. And with the medium setting, it feels like, yeah, you still get quite some challenge and might die, but it's not 100% that you die, but you have the chance to repair and to survive. Where I would say if you go to the high level of the damage model in the settings, yeah, you are as good as dead as soon as they start dropping depth charges upon you. So where are the guys? Ah, come on, still pretty close. That one is further away. Oh shit. It's one, pretty close. And this one further away. Oh, it's still three. I hope that it were only two, but looks like it's still three ships going after me. But at the moment, it seems like they are not detecting me. But the sounds of the propellers are getting louder. Hey, what is this actually? The PlayThrough, yep. Mr. Sparfeld, you don't look good. Looks like he was just about to panic. Okay. One of them closing in upon us, that's how it sounds. Air quality down to 41 again. Okay, he's speeding up. He's speeding up, what does it mean? Is he doing an approach upon us? There he's firing flares. Illumination. And he's going fast right now. But no ping.
Wir wurden entdeckt. Das wird nicht einfach. Aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden. Lasst uns ruhig bleiben.
Shall we give it a save? Of course, sometimes these kind of saves might be just at the right point in time when you die just afterwards and have no option. But so let's see. Is he? That guy is. Yeah, that's the guy with the high speed. Let's see if he is closing in on us. If he has any clue where we are. They're coming in. They are coming in. Let's do a little bit of time acceleration. Moving away. Low speed. Hard to say whether they are coming in or not. There is water accumulating in the bridge again, but we are still far below the level that we had before we turned on the pumps on that occasion. And air quality is below 40% again. Hi guys, nice to have you in the stream, in the chat, in the stream. So don't worry, I have no idea who you are, so if you just want to lurk and watch and be left alone, that's perfectly fine. Although, let me note that I always like to have a little chat in the stream. But yeah, don't feel pushed. Just watch if you just want to watch. Perfectly fine. Now, some more time acceleration. to 4 in the morning. Ah, they are still around. They are still around. One, two, three. Ah, still 3 men of war around, chasing after us. That's my milk cow. But come on, I don't know. Ah, okay, all right. That's the 2 milk cows. Now I have 2 of them available. After having finished that first part of Operation Drumbeat. Ah, okay. Yeah, at the moment I don't really need them. The second one. So I wonder if I could position a second milk cow somewhere here at the African coast. Might make sense. DG6. Yeah, let's put it to DG6. Be most useful in a different area. The target area would be DG, what did I say, DG6 there. How much reputation would it cost? Obviously none. Yeah, didn't cost any reputation points. Hey guys, you need to leave us alone sooner or later. still detecting the propellers, of course. Air quality is back down to 38%. Okay, we get pinged again. Yes. Okay, this one is moving away. Moving away. Two of them being pretty close. Yeah, that one is really close. Yeah, might be that he's just passing above us, isn't he? Okay, there is illumination up in the air. Two of them, actually. Okay, this one. And this one pretty much looks like he's given up. Let's hope that this is the case. Please keep on moving away and leave us alone. But the one guy is still pretty close. Alright guys, keep quiet. It's great. No panic yet. No strain and stress at all. So the crew is really doing fine. Yeah, discipline I do have. 4 sailors being specialists in discipline, meaning that they are good to tell the crew to keep calm. And there we are. The crew is strained and stressed. Stress level being 10%. Yeah, which is still pretty uncritical. Discipline down to 95%, which is also alright. Yeah, actually great. After being down here for so long. And with the air quality being down to 36%, that might well make the guys nervous. Please, guy, leave us alone. Don't make that other guy turn around by detecting us again. So let's just carry on. Let's not do anything suspicious. No changing course. No changing speed. Yeah, the diesels are quiet down here. let's give it a save. And let's do some more time acceleration. Yeah, that was just them up there firing illumination, firing flares. It's pretty loud, pretty frightening, but it's just flares. Now, Mr. Hinrich, at the hydrophone, what do you say? Hey, maybe we got it. Maybe we are just about getting rid of them so that we can get back to the surface. Yeah, let's accelerate until 4:15. And there we are. Missing one. Yeah, he can't be gone. That must be some mistake by Mr. Hinrich, but still, it looks like we are getting away. Hey, Oblivion. Good evening. Nice to have you in the stream. How are you? How was your week up to now? So we are almost through the week. Just Friday ahead of us. Yeah, you see us here being submerged. At the moment it looks like we are getting away. We sank 3 ships out of that convoy, then dived away, and now looks like the convoy, the escort, is not following us anymore. Quite good, because we are pretty down in terms of air quality, and we are accumulating quite a bit of water in the bilge actually. Okay, on PS5, so you say there are trophies. So I think it's something like a like the achievements that we PC guys have on Steam, I guess. 10 is, yeah, that achievement we also have. Yep. Sinking 10 in a single convoy, exactly. But I never managed that. Or did I? No, I didn't. And I think there is also an achievement which is like sinking just every ship of the convoy, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, in the past it was well possible, but since something like, yeah, a few months ago they updated the damage models, and I think since then it's really pretty hard to sink a warship with the deck guns. It's even becomes hard by now, being later in the war. It becomes hard to sink a merchantman with the deck guns, because some of the merchantmen actually have their own deck guns. So they are sometimes more heavily armed than your submarine, and the submarine is pretty vulnerable against grenades. Yeah, that's right. Early in the game it might be easier. But I also think that this change of the update that they did, that this also made it much more difficult, independently whether you're early in the game or late. Okay, that guy's still there. This guy's moving away. So if this... okay, no, he seems to be moving away just as well. Maybe, fingers crossed, that we are just about getting rid of that escort. Of course, they were pretty pissed off because we sank 3 of their ships. Yeah, sorry, Oblivion. I have to do a little bit of munching noise. Just about to have some late night snacks. Sorry for that. So how far are you in the game? I mean, the PS5 release is not that long ago. Did you actually put some time into the game? Did you manage to dive a little bit deeper into the war? Give it another save. Yeah, we are down to 32% of air quality. So let's give it a bit more time acceleration. Only 11% of strain and stress, but yeah, 30% of air quality. Now, Mr. Hinrich at the hydrophone, what do you tell us about the contacts? 2 to 5 miles. 2 to 5 miles. Moving away. Yeah, 3 miles. In the darkness they would not spot us at the surface, but I'm never sure whether they might have radar. Up to now, I always had the impression that only the airplanes were equipped with radar, because only approaching airplanes gave me this passive radar warning. And that, makes me wonder a bit, because it might have been easier to put a radar system onto a ship than mount it onto an airplane. to know I never had a report that I was kind of detected by a ship-borne radar system. Yeah, so let's get up. Yeah, it might be more or less safe by now. Let's get back to the surface and see that we get away. And see that we get to rendezvous the milk cow. Refuel, rearm. And then we have to make up our minds whether we would get back home or whether we would continue doing another run here. I mean, all the way out here might be a waste of time to go back already. So refueling, rearming, and then doing some more wreaking of havoc around the enemies around here at the Canadian coast might be a realistic option. Hey, come on, they are something like 6 miles away, aren't they? Not that far. 4. Let it be 4 miles. Yeah, let's do it step by step so that we don't overshoot. Now periscope depth. Yep, thanks. Yeah, we wouldn't spot anything in the darkness. That's for sure. Hey, weight loss. Yes, I really try to minimize the snack noise, but yeah, you could still hear it. I need a snack silencer for my muzzle. Hey, come on, let's give it one more save and then we are gonna get back to the surface. totally dark. There is a faint hint of a rising sun over there, I would say, but very faint, and no moon as it looks like. So this is a very dark night. Stars. No cloud, but also no moon. So, guys, you can step away from battle stations. And let's get back to electrical dive planes. Let's end silent running. Yeah, we are well out of range. And the first hint of, yeah, there we have the first hint of the sun, and we have better lighting. We can see better now that the blue light was turned off and we switched to red light. Red light always gives you a little bit of better eyesight at night. And you really recognize the difference. The sun is pretty much in the north still. Yeah, we have to keep in mind that out here, the time that we get is more Berlin or Greenwich time. So there should be something like 4 hours of time difference, which means when around here our clock says 4 o'clock, it's probably more like midnight. Yeah, it would be nice if you would get 2 times, 2 clocks, like having the local time and the Greenwich or Berlin time. So there is one thing you can do. You can take the absorbers away from the ventilation system and turn it on without potassium absorbers. So this would just boost the speed with which you get fresh air in when you're surfing this thing. Yeah, you see down there ventilation. Really boosts the exchange of air, get fresh air in. Which is pretty reasonable. I mean, imagine you have all the submarine down here full of the stink of like 5 or 6 hours of being submerged and 40 crewmates, and you just open one hatch. That, yeah, it would take actually ages to have fresh air just everywhere down in the boat. So turning on the ventilation, making this exchange faster, is some very realistic feature, I think. We have a crewmate at the galley again. That's good. Battery capacity is reloading. Okay, so shall we do some time acceleration to get to the milk cow? Yeah, we can't max out the time acceleration at the moment because we are still pretty close to these other ships. But what we can do is manning the radio and report the success back to the headquarters. Yeah, our patrol is long finished, so we sank. Already before we had sunk these 3 ships, we already had enough sunk ships for the patrol to be finished. Or well, to be precise, not enough ships, but enough tonnage. Yeah, give him another hand, a crew hand that accelerates the transmission and reduces the probability that the transmission is picked up by the enemy. Although I think if the enemy is not too close, at the moment we are not on any sneaky attack mission, that might not be a problem. Alright, so you can turn back in. And what is it about the overall mission? Yeah, okay. We already got accounted for these sunk ships for the mission for Operation Drumbeat even before we reported it back to the headquarters. Another save, and there we go. Let's hope that Air Patrol leaves us alone. Okay, so due to that time deviation, probably the sun will only be up at something like 10 o'clock. That's my guess. What is this? Ships on the horizon, but that doesn't help me anything because I have almost no torpedoes left. So it just wouldn't make any sense to go for them at the moment. But maybe I would like to do a hydrophone check. At least to mark them on the map and maybe track them. And maybe I could still go after them after I have rearmed at the milk cow. Yeah, so let's do one hydrophone check. What happens? The hydrophone check is one standard workflow, which makes all the off-watch crew run to the 4 compartments. You see it in the background. And here Mr. Schneider is opening the valves. Mr. Strauss and one more guy should be on the way to man, 2 guys manning the depth steers, and opening the valves actually makes the seawater flowing into the ballast tanks, giving us the weight that we need to dive. In addition, we have the crew in the front compartment, which is a nice graphical feature. Oh shit, I forgot to turn on the pump.
25 Meter.
So now the crew has brought the boat down to 50 meters, engines stopped, and Mr. Hinrich is listening to the hydrophone. And let's hear. What does he get? That's pretty close. So there is a large convoy over there. Convoy O whatsoever. Let's call it Convoy 05. I lost track of my numbering. So there they are. So let's stay. What is part of this workflow is that the crew keeps the boat down at 50 meters for 5 minutes, listening, and after 5 minutes it brings the boat back to the surface. Mr. Hornickel supporting Mr. Hinrich at the hydrophone.
Schraubengeräusche. Große Gruppe. Peilung 270 Grad.
Yeah, we only have 1 torpedo left in the 4 torpedo tubes. It was quite a successful run, actually. Okay, and more up there. So maybe I would like to these
Tiefe
numbers and
45 Meter.
figures here. I've tracked that one down. And what else do we have? One there. Don't know
50 Meter.
which one that is. Let's just call it X for now. Or convoy 06.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
Closing in. So maybe I would like to track these convoys down after we have gotten. Yeah, but yeah, they will be far gone when we are back being reloaded.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 260 Grad.
Ah, even more.
Mittlere Gruppe. Peilung
Anblasen.
155
Oh
Grad.
shit. Moving away. Closing in.
Meter.
Yeah, come on, let's forget about them. We could try later to find them, but right now we only have to go for the milk cow, which would be quite a few hours of sailing. And by then, all these contacts will be away. Right now it's 7 o'clock. And as, yeah, this 7 o'clock is not local time, but Berlin or Greenwich time, I'm not quite sure. But it's definitely European time, which means that we don't get sunset now at 7 o'clock, but that we're gonna get sunset at something like 10 o'clock. It's summer actually. It is summer. Are they heading for me? Pretty much looks like that. Looks like they're headed more or less towards me. So that would be so beautiful to infiltrate that one, but with no 4 torpedoes left. Just doesn't make too much sense. Let's see if we have to change course to stay out of their vicinity. By the way, I see that the number of watches has constantly been rising. So thank you guys very much for joining. Thank you much for having you in the stream. And as I used to say, of course, giving me some feedback if it's just a hi that you're there, and or giving some comment onto the game, onto my gameplay or your experience with the game. I would pretty much love that, but don't feel pushed. If you just feel like anonymously watching, that's perfectly fine just as well. Still, although I'm just doing this for pure fun, yeah, the most fun is of course if you see people caring, and the first level of seeing people caring is having people watching the stream, which is wonderful. Second level, people participating in the chat, which is great. And of course also some people might like to give me a follow, which is also great. But as I said, just do as you like. Yeah, they are closing in, but I think what an enormous column of ships. Yeah, now we are right ahead of them. Or should I try to infiltrate them and fire a sound seeker? If you are in a convoy, the sound-seeking torpedo has the problem that you still have to set them on a certain level. At least if you use the magnetic. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't use the magnetic pistol. Because the problem is you never can be 100% sure towards which ship the sound-seeking torpedoes are actually homing in. So it might be, and that happened to me, that they finally homed in for a ship with a more shallow draft than the one that I adjusted it for, and then they were just going underneath their keel. Hey, Capital Cosmos, nice to have you in. How are you doing? How was your week? I mean, the week is almost through, just Friday. Or, well, I hope you're not one of the guys who has to work over the weekend. Yeah. Yeah, you see me out of torpedoes. I have sunk quite a lot of ships, having attacked another convoy. And I would love to go for that convoy, but I have only 2 stern torpedoes and 1 bow torpedo left, and I think that's not worthwhile, the risk to go in. Yeah, the last weekday of work. Ah, interesting. You're a pipe smoker. That's amazing. I actually never tried that. Ooh, yeah, that's military, pretty sure. Is it? That looks weird. Or is it a ship which is attacked by another German submarine and it's burning? I would be curious. Allow me to do this little... Yeah, I used to say... Yeah, right. Capital Cosmos, it looks like there is a ship on fire, right? So let's switch to the cinematic view once. Although some people might call it cheating. It looks like... No, okay. I don't know. Seems to be fine. Pretty weird that this ship is... yeah, on a completely different course than all the other guys over there. But maybe it's just coincidence. There is this convoy, and just by coincidence it's crossing the course with this single ship here. That's probably what it is. And give it another save, and yes. Yeah, it has cannons, but does it also has ASDIC? I wasn't aware of that, actually. Okay. Yeah, but cannons might be. Yeah, I didn't look at it in detail, but it might have been one of these merchants with cannons. And I actually, yeah, I'm already pretty late in the war, and I experienced that a surface attack on a convoy might be a pretty bad idea, because there might be just a few merchantmen with cannons, with deck guns, and they really give you a beating. They really give you a hard time. So surface attack on a convoy is not a good idea anymore. You could still do it on single ships when you're sure that they are not one of these with deck guns on it. Yeah, by the way, okay, the sun is already up must have become daylight between 8 and 9 o'clock, okay. So let's see that we get back to the milk cow down here. Yeah, I did position it far away from the coast to be sure that it's not being sunk by air patrols or military patrols. Okay, yeah, at 11 o'clock the sun sets. Here you see the time deviation. So the sun wouldn't set that late. It would set 2 or 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours earlier actually. So that shows that we are going with European time and not with the local time. But isn't that beautiful? That's one of these settings that I love so much about the game. So, please allow me to get me a sip of wine. I'll be back in a minute. Right, back again. Yeah, we do have a bit of a wave, but not extreme waves. So I think we should have a wind speed below 10 knots. If it looks like that. Let's check it on the map. Oh yeah, you see here. Wind speed 9 knots. That makes sense. But sooner or later I need to put the boson to the map to improve our positioning. Here we are down to 66% in terms of navigation correctness. There, we are gonna need some more precision soon. So next watch, our bosun will be officer of the watch, and then we can send him to the map.
Navigation besetzen.
So you see the numbers going up, percentage of navigation correctness.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, before we completely forget it. Foggy. Pretty foggy weather. What is it? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And still very bad visibility, obviously. But what I completely forgot is we have to turn on the pump. have quite a bit of water in the bilge, so get it out. Yeah, there never was any leak. It was just
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe.
water seeping in through, yeah, untight gaskets, leaky gaskets, slowly dripping into the boat when you're down below 100 meters. You really get some, yeah, slow but constant flow of water into the boat. Which I love, that that really makes it feel even more immersive.
Navigation besetzen.
Yeah, something about the map again, please.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Jawohl, ich kümmere mich darum.
Navigation besetzen.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Yes, of course we are, and we are approaching that area where our milk cow should be cruising and hopefully awaiting us.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Kurs setzen.
So, yeah, let's get down there.
Schornsteinrauch.
Mhm.
Peilung
Torpedorohr
50
4
Grad.
gewartet.
Okay, it's afternoon, 50 degrees. If it's a single ship. Let's check it, Captain, please. Man the bridge. And give me a report on what you see. Okay, merchantman.
Handelsschiff. 45 Grad.
And yeah, this should be an unarmed guy. So that looks like a good victory. Let's use that opportunity. Even though we are not anymore in the range of the Operation Drumbeat, would just let that guy go away. So 50 degrees. And it was reported to be visible. So could it be there? At the edge of vision range, which would be at a distance of 5 miles. Could we confirm that? So if you ask me, this pretty much looks like this one here. Velocity probably 7. Angle on bow pretty much looks like, yeah, estimated 90 degrees. And can we give it a guess upon the distance? Yeah, but this is guesswork on that distance. But yeah, well, 5 miles could well be. Yeah, on that distance it's guesswork. The steady meter. It is coming in closer, and yeah, at the moment hard to figure out what their colors actually are. Four miles, estimated 4 miles, yeah. $55. Yeah, we are nicely coming in on that guy, cutting off his way. Hey guys, I see that there are constantly some people dropping into the stream, so nice to have you. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I'm always happy to get some thumbs up or hello or comments onto the game, onto my gameplay in the chat, but yeah, don't feel pushed. It's perfectly fine if you just watch. Anybody who just likes to watch anonymously is welcome just as well. But of course, getting some comments in the chat or maybe even a follow would make a little aficionado streamer like me even more happy. Closing in on them. Some more guesswork about the distance. Well, 5,700 meters. Yeah, I might now soon come into the range that he might spot me. I think he should by now spot me when I'm not submerged. So he should. But I don't care because I don't want to torpedo him. If he's gonna flee, I'm gonna try to track him down with the deck gun. Or if he's not gonna flee, I'm gonna board him. Send an away team. a boarding party. Yeah, I'm playing on maximum difficulty level, which means that I don't have the enemy contacts marked on the map, but I have to do all that target tracking manually. But the tools that you have here, the geometry tools, they are perfectly fine to do that. So could it be that they are roughly moving like that? That would be my guess right now. And their angle on bow on us then would be something like 69. Yeah, not too far from my guesstimation. Anybody has any clue of the colors that they are flying? It might be British, it might be US, but yeah, I would still not bet my farm on that. That it might be something completely different still. Yeah, we could put this one back to the ventilation. I always like to have one slot free. For example, if you have to do repairs and you get scrap metal from the repairs, you only get it when you have an inventory slot free in the stores. So if I give him additional cells, would it stabilize? Yeah, see? 2 additional cells actually stabilizes the... Ah, shit. It's Spanish. It's a Spaniard. But still. If we extrapolate their course, hard to say. Hard to say. So we really would have to board the guys and see what they have. Degrees and an estimated distance of 4. Yeah, okay, so it's less than 2, yeah, a bit more than 2 miles, 2 to 3 miles at an angle of 75.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
see if we get them. We are not yet at war with Spain, are we? Nope. Yes, let's see. Spanish ham. Yeah. Serrano ham. That's what they might have. Yeah, in the south of Spain they have this type of pigs which are, well, half wild and feed themselves on chestnuts, trees, chestnuts. So they say that the ham from them is perfectly fine. Air-dried bacon. Yeah, it's not ham, is it? I always mix it up, ham and bacon, so it would be kind of Serrano bacon, maybe. Not ham, right? Or is it ham? Yeah, it's ham. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, bacon is this one which has a lot of fat in it, more from the belly of the pig, and the ham is with, yeah, real meat. You could smoke it, like when you have Black Forest ham, that would be nicely smoked, and like Serrano ham, that would be more, yeah, air dried, right? Pretty much like it. Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, from Italy you also get this stuff, which is great. Pretty similar to Serrano ham. There is, what is the name? Parma ham. That's great as well. But nothing I could afford to eat every day. There they are. 30 degrees and so now the distance determination becomes more reasonable. So I would say it's 1.5 miles by now at 30 degrees. So I think, yeah, just a bit of guesswork, but that's their course. Something like that. And if I extrapolate it, I would still end up in Spain and not so much in Great Britain. So just looking at the course, it's not a reason to sink them right away. Yeah, we are gonna board them. Monte Espadan. But now that they have spotted us anyway, we could report the spotting to the headquarters. by manning the radio. There we go.
Funktelegramm gesendet.
Hey Nick. Oh shit. Sorry, I just didn't check the chat in the YouTube part of the transmission. So Nick, I don't know if you're still there, but I don't know, might be quite some time ago that you actually entered. Are you still there? Yeah, I find it so fascinating that, I mean, I'm streaming from Europe and then having people from the US an ocean away. I really love that. And yes, I have been playing Hell Let Loose. And on the one hand, I quite liked it. But yeah, it was like, well, like we guys, we have kind of, yeah, pretty limited time for gaming. And Hell Let Loose would be one more game to really, I could dump so much time into Hell Let Loose because I like it so much. But yeah, I just can't, yeah, make another game to my favorite. And so I actually, yeah, I would say what I've been playing as well a lot is oh, I kind of missed it. Armor Reforger. It's also a multiplayer game, military, but of course completely different era. But so if I were playing these kind of games like military multiplayer simulation, my favorite would be Arma 3. I mean Arma Reforger, I have to admit. And I also loved Hell Let Loose because particularly I went in there with some guys which I met in DayZ and teamed up with them. And so they invited me to join them. So I pretty much loved the game. It's only just like this, I can't, time-wise, I just can't afford to play another game like that. So if I were playing a military sim, I would get back to Arma Reforger. Hey guys, I have such a bad conscience that I didn't check the YouTube stream. I'm doing this dual streaming on YouTube and Twitch, and problem is that up to now I didn't manage to get the chat onto one screen. That's my problem. But I try. Gonna try to check the YouTube stream. The problem is that, yeah, the people on Twitch, they tend much more to do some conversation via the stream, via the chat. So I kind of got used to the fact that nobody was putting any comment into the YouTube chat, and so also 2 days ago, an old acquaintance of mine actually tried to contact me on the YouTube chat, and I just didn't spot it, or just spotted it too late. So sorry guys for that. Yeah, Nick, I guess you're not in the stream anymore. But nevertheless, thanks for commenting. Hey, Capitao Cosmos, yeah, I could talk about food for hours actually. We are moving too fast. That's alright.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Reduce speed, and let's give it a save, and then we are gonna send over a boarding party. Send a delegation. No, I usually send our first engineer, chief engineer, our first mechanic, and the bosun, Mr. Drummer. Give him a gun, whatever it is good for. And 6 crew hands. And please get over there. Let's hope he does. That's my problem. None of my officers actually knows Spanish, I think. Your crew climbs the deck with some help of the cargo ship's crew after you are welcomed by the ship's captain. Yeah, he tries to communicate in Spanish and doesn't speak German. Luckily, hey, I wasn't aware of that. So my first mechanic, Mr. Arlos, obviously speaks fluent Spanish. Hey, that's great. Nice. Didn't have that on the radar. Okay, so ask the captain for the shipping documents. According to the documents, the ship is directed to the port of Lisbon. Well, and to be honest, if you look at the course, this is well possible. Yeah, put some pressure and state that the documents seem to be false. And state with confidence that such cargo is not normally carried to the port of Lisbon. And we have the merchant skill. Yeah, the course. Well, let's go for that. The captain explains to you that this cargo is actually completely common for Lisbon. Okay, then try this one. The captain is surprised that you make such claims and without any sign of hesitation goes for a map and shows you that this course is actually correct. The captain raises an eyebrow and denies that anything is wrong.
Alle Maschinen stopp.
So, come on guys, let's search the cargo hold. And yeah, we are so far out. Pretty low probability that we are surprised by an air raid. Yeah, but I think I can't sink that ship. no evidence. That would be completely deliberate. Yeah, exactly. Spain is neutral. And I could only sink it if it was clear that it was heading for an enemy port, or if it would carry contraband cargo. So let's see what we find. Nothing suspicious was found in the cargo hold. View transported goods. Okay, wood and ore. Yeah, that's completely unsuspicious. That's true. Meet the captain and return to the ship. Let's report that we inspected the ship and that we didn't find anything suspicious.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Funktelegramm gesendet.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Kurs setzen.
Oh, we are actually on a collision course like that.
Kurs setzen.
What if I go like that? Are we running into them? No, we are passing behind their stern. Alright. No ham. Yeah, they didn't have any ham on board. What a pity, actually.
Kurs setzen.
Yeah, if they had ham, I would actually have confiscated it. Or some tapas. Yeah, as far as I know it, I pretty much like the Spanish kitchen, the Spanish cuisine. Yeah, some more working on the map. Smoke again. Oh. It's still the guy, right? Yeah, it's still the guy. On we go, on the way to finally meet the milk cow again.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Okay, let's radio for the milk cow.
Raum besetzen.
We are in the expected area where we could meet it.
Funkraum besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Alright.
Kerkerleut.
Request resupply.
Funkspruch erhalten.
Okay, we got the coordinates for resupply. Let's see. There it is again.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Yeah, you usually have 1 day of time to rendezvous with that guy, or it will be gone to another place. time of the day. Yeah, it's evening. It's late evening, 10 o'clock. But as our clock doesn't show local time, but Berlin time, yeah, imagine that on local time the sun would set maybe at something like 8 or 9 o'clock, and now it's 2 or 3 hours later, according to Berlin time, or Greenwich. I was never sure whether they use Greenwich or Berlin time. Maybe Berlin. Yeah. I don't know what historically correct, what would be historically correct. If on these German submarines, if they would use Greenwich time or some kind of Berlin or whatsoever, Hamburg reference time. I think back then it should have been standard already, more or less, to use Greenwich time as 0 for the determination of your longitude. So the sun is beautifully about to set again. And there you see the captain, the lone captain on the bridge, scanning the horizon with his binoculars.
Ich bin sehr müde.
It's nighttime, so at nighttime it's always more tricky to rendezvous. It's so fucking dark. What if we turn on the searchlight?
Scheinwerfer einschalten.
Alright. Yeah, they are more or less dead ahead. Let's do it. We see their lights. And that's them. Also crew on the deck, on the conning tower. And yeah, see how bulky this one is. And there we come in. Target's still a bit too far, obviously. There we are. Let's stop.
Alle Maschinen, stopp.
Yeah, guys, I always always see the number of watches going up. Yeah, sometimes also going down, but there's always new guys dropping into the stream. So thanks for joining. It's a pleasure to have you. I hope it's a bit of fun to play the game. Yeah, this game is not action loaded, actually. But yeah, what I love about the game is actually its immersion and realism as far as I could judge. Like physics and all the mechanics of the diving, beautifully modeled. Yeah, just love that one. I'm playing this since years. And I could just warmly advertise. I don't get paid for that, please don't mistake it. It's just like, yeah, I would recommend anybody who has a bit of, yeah, a love for the sea, for seafaring. Try it, it's great. Now give it a save and let's get additional weapons, torpedoes. Send it to legation. Let's see what we get. Mr. Grada. Mr. Arles. And Mr. Tremor. Getting the gun. And 6 hands. Whatever that's good for. Yeah, it's a bit of choppy water, I would say. And now we are getting over there with the Zodiac. Ask how the service is going. Yeah, blah. That's... okay. Yeah, that's different. So up to now I always got the same. At the second try we were attacked by airplane. 2 men died. Explains they were still young men, great sailors, and even better people. Stops there and suddenly becomes very sad. Yeah, okay, that's a different story than we got before. Oh yeah, well, let's transfer survivors. So I hope we did get credit for that. Can't see it. See the cargo. Yeah, we're still alright in terms of food, but let's check the other stuff. Torpedoes. Hey, Capitão Cosmos. It was a pleasure to have you in. Thank you very much. And yeah, thanks for joining, I mean. And maybe we'll see tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Refuel ammo. I think I'm still fine. I didn't fire any ammo, did I? Also for the deck gun, 30 rounds. Food and yeah, now equipment. Ah shit, I could get something like 6 potassium absorbers, I think. Because I used them. So, no, fuck. Get the stuff on board. We are foggy, that's good. check the galley. Ventilation system. Yeah, nice. We can transfer it. But still, the galley. Yeah, it's alright. Like that. We are still fine. We still have 100% discipline. So, let's get back over and get some more torpedoes. See the cargo. Yeah, we could get three more torpedoes. Give it another save. And get over there once more. And there we go. See their cargo. Torpedoes. Yeah, that's it. Get it like that. Return to the ship and get the stuff on board. Okay, there we are being refueled. Thanks very much. So I think I'm gonna go for another little patrol out there. See what's BB9, BB6. BA, BB. Okay, that's perfectly fine to get there.
Halbe Fahrt. Voraus.
So we have finished the reloading. And now let's get back towards the target area of that mission set of Drumbeat. Operation Drumbeat. Paukenschlag. Thank you very much, guys, for resupply.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Bestätigt.
Get back to the
Jawohl, weiter geht's.
area where there might be some action going on.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Endlich ein paar Stunden Pause. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Yeah, we need to increase the navigation correctness.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Jawohl, Herr Kaloi.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
At least we do have a bit of moonlight at the moment.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung. Wird erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Betrachten Sie es als erledigt, Herr Kaloi.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
And there we are, just about entering the patrol area again. And yeah, what could we do better than doing a hydrophone check? There we go.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
50 meters. Nothing on the horizon. So the crew is preparing the boat now for that standard workflow, which means valves are getting opened so that the ballast tanks are being flooded with seawater, depth steers being manned, and all the off-watch crew running to the front compartment, bringing the boat down as fast as possible. But as you see, it still takes a little while. To get the boat down. So now the crew is gonna bring the boat to 50 meters, and down there we are gonna stop the engines and listen to the hydrophone in the complete silence down here for 5 minutes. And if there is not too much storm going on at the first surface, this hydrophone check bears some enormous range. And that's what I'm looking for. I am hunting. I'm out hunting. And yeah, I'm gonna have to find some prey. And the best means to do that is to do regular hydrophone checks and dive. Because down here the hydrophone develops an enormous range. Sorry guys, by the way, I'll just have to be AFK for 1 minute. Be back in 60 seconds. Alright, back again. Great that you're still there. So let's finish our hydrophone check. And see if we hear something.
50 Meter.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Nothing yet. Yeah, that's it about the game. That's the patience part. Because it's completely open world. The encounters are not scripted in any way. But, well, all the enemies are, yeah, simulated as kind of NPCs moving across the map on certain routes. And either by chance you find them or not. And that's really great about the game. Nothing. Still nothing. So we are floating down here at 50 meters. And looks like we don't hear anything. Okay, no contacts. Well, that happens. Yeah, the Atlantic being enormously vast. And that's just realistic that there are large areas where there is just nothing. Yeah, there we go. Back to the surface.
Auf diese Mobile
no water in the bilge. What about the food? It's still alright. Discipline is alright. Fuel is, yeah, great. 94%. Yeah, let's delete all these marks. They might be misleading later. And they are long gone, and we even sank quite a few of these guys. So let's get there.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Bestätige.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
So on we go. Now it's 6 o'clock in the morning and it's still pretty dark. Let's see when it's gonna get daylight. 7 o'clock.
Navigation besetzen.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
And yeah, there we get some daylight. But if you ask me, it looks kind of, I don't know, foggy. Eight o'clock. Okay, sunrise at 8 o'clock. There she comes up the horizon. And looking at the map, yeah, let's do another hydrophone check.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Yeah, you see, the crew is all running to the front compartment. Mr. Arlos is gonna open the valves so that we let the sea into our ballast tanks, and these two guys have manned the depth steers. You could actually see the sea water flooding the ballast tanks. And the depth steers pointing downwards.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
And there we go.
Meter.
Isn't that great? They're really modeling the submarine. How it behaves in the water. And the ballast and the crew and
40 Meter.
everything.
Große Gruppe. Peilung 245 Grad.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet.
And there we do get some contacts. Nice.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Pretty close actually.
50 Meter.
Relatively close. Let's mark it.
Schraubengeräusch. Peilung 80 Grad. Herr Kapitän? Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
Let's mark these two guys on the map, and the third one. A single. But that's always risky. If you go for the single one, it might turn out that it is neutral.
Meter.
So guys, in the stream, what would you say? Should I go for the single? If the single merchant is hostile, it would be very easy to sink it. But if it is not, if it's neutral, we just would have wasted a lot of fuel to get up there. And the convoys down here, they are 100% hostile. Only that it will be pretty hard to get in and sink a few ships and get out again. But yeah, what do you think, my dear friends in the stream? What would you do? Go for the large convoy to the south, or go for the single merchant to the north? I think I'm gonna go south. I think I'm gonna go after that mega convoy. But let's finish the 5 minutes hydrophone check. A bit of water again accumulated in the bilge, but that's neglectable. Just 13 cubic meters. No, it's not cubic meters. That would be a lot. It's 13 liters. All right, 5 minutes gone. So we are gonna get back to the surface.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Okay, so at the moment it's the watch of Mr. Trummer, the bosun. He can't care for the engines, so Mr. Arn is sorry to say so, but
E-Motoren
I need you. Although it's your off watch.
5 Meter. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
Let's go flank now for 1 hour. So them guys, they go something like 10 knots. And us going something like 70 knots if we are going flank. So let's go for 1 more hour and then do another hydrophone check. One hydrophone check actually reveals us a position, but to actually intercept them, we need a second data point to not only have their position in one point of time, but having their heading actually. Let's give it another save and do a bit of time acceleration. 1 hour. And, well, any smoke on the horizon already? Obviously not, so let's do another hydrophone check to get a second data point on their course. Again, Mr. Grada opening the valves so that the ballast tanks get flooded.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5
Auf
Meter.
E-Motoren wechseln.
And down we go again for another hydrophone check.
25 Meter. 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 Schraubengeräusche. Gruppe. Peilung 340 Grad.
Very good. Second data point. Okay, they are not moving towards me, but Seems like they are moving relatively slow. Which means, yeah, that they are moving towards that direction roughly, and with only 7 knots, so it should be easy peasy to intercept them. Sorry.
Herr Kapitän?
Yeah, let's finish the hydrophone check.
Anblasen. Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Herr Kaloin, wir sind aufgetaucht.
And then going like that. Another 1 hour, and us. Another hour would bring us there.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. It's 20 past 9. Let's go for 20 past 10. There we are. And give it another hydrophone check. Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe 5 Meter.
Auf E-Motoren wechseln.
Now let's hear
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
what we see. Let's see what we hear.
25 Meter.
Going down again to 50 meters. To the complete silence of the ocean, away from the waves and the wind. on top. Turning off the engines now gives us an enormous hydrophone range.
50 Meter.
That's more than 90 miles. And now I should get a contact somewhere here if my dead reckoning is correct.
Meter. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloi?
Come on. Please confirm me that this contact has roughly moved to here.
Schraubengeräusche. Großer Konvoi. Peilung 50 Grad. Herr Kapitän?
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
So that's a good interception course, and yeah, now around here it's 3 o'clock at night. So I have to get to bed. More contacts. I'm curious, let's just... no. Just the known contacts. Give it a save. And I don't know, shall we do a raid tonight? There is no U-boat stream to raid. There is one guy which I pretty much like, who is doing DayZ at the moment. Yeah, but hey, come on, let's just call it day for now. Without raiding, I would say. So thanks guys for joining. It was a pleasure. Beautiful to have you in the stream, as well on Twitch as on YouTube. So guys, have a good one, and looking forward to maybe see you back in the stream tomorrow. Bye.